Police in Australia have arrested a man suspecting of acting as an economic agent for North Korea.
Surrounded by federal police, a suspected agent of North Korea in our own backyard.
This man was brokering the sale of missile componentry and technical expertise from North Korea to other international entities. The missile componentry actually assisted in the guidance of ballistic missiles.
Officers seizing computers, disk drives and documents from the home of Chan Han Choi, charging him under UN and Australian law for assisting a weapons of mass destruction program.
This is a very, very important arrest. The charges that are being laid are of the gravest nature.
The accused lived for 29 years in South Korea, moved to Australia 30 years ago in 1987, later becoming a citizen. Police allege he began offending 9 years ago, brokering sales of missiles, componentry, technical expertise, even coal, gemstones and oil. The AFP confirming at least $500,000 was wired to Pyongyang, but deals were in place for millions more. Little else is known about Chan Han Choi. Neighbours at his Eastwood apartment say they've hardly seen or spoken to him, but authorities have been quick to point out he's not a North Korean spy.
We are not suggesting there are any weapons or missile componentry that ever came to Australian soil.
Chan now behind bars ahead of a court appearance later this week.
It's important for people to know that if they are assisting or thinking of assisting the North Korean regime in sanctions busting, the AFP will find you. They will find you and they will arrest you and you'll go to court, and if you're convicted you'll go to jail for a very long time. So we are relentless in our determination to keep Australia safe, whether it's safe from terrorism, whether it's safe from international drug trafficking, organised crime and of course the threats from North Korea. It is the first duty of every government and my government is to keep Australians safe. That's what we're committed to.
There are fears Kim Jong-il could launch a nuclear weapon attack to mark the anniversary of his father's death. Kim Jong-il died on this day 6 years ago, and in the past, North Korea has marked such commemorations with rocket tests and military drills. Thousands of North Koreans braved cold weather to lay flowers at his statue in Pyongyang. Residents are expected to avoid drinking and entertainment in a show of respect.
The most important days on the calendar in North Korea came and went without much fanfare. Sunday was the 6th anniversary of the death of former leader Kim Jong-il, the father of the regime's current leader Kim Jong-un. And oddly enough, there are still no reports confirming whether Kim Jong-un had paid tribute at the Kumsusan Palace of the Sun in Pyongyang, where the North's first two leaders are enshrined. And if that in fact is the case, it'll be the first time that Kim Jong-un has not gone to the memorial on the anniversary. But at the same time, there are some watchers who say Kim Jong-un could have paid tribute to his father at an earlier date. For more, our Kim Mo-kyun starts us off.
Since Kim Jong-il died in 2011, North Korea has been holding annual commemorative events with massive public displays of remembrance. On the anniversary of his death, officials visit the Kumsusan Palace, where Kim Jong-il's body lies in state, and they attend a memorial ceremony. On Sunday, the North Central News Agency announced that high-level officials made the visits this year too. The officials included Lee Soo-yong, the vice chairman of North Korea's ruling Workers' Party, and Choi Ryong-hae, the vice chairman of Workers' Party's Central Committee. The state-run newspaper Rodong Sinmun reported that the entire North Korean population is paying respects to the late Kim Jong-il, who they called revolutionary and all-powerful. However, unlike past years, the regime's media outlets did not discuss what leader Kim Jong-un was doing. Many changes have occurred under the leadership of Kim Jong-un. Observers say the most apparent change is the regime calling itself a nuclear power. The late Kim Jong-il was more secretive in developing nuclear weapons so that he could keep getting financial support, but his son seems to be pursuing the goal more aggressively and openly. In the past 6 years, North Korea has conducted 4 nuclear tests and 41 ballistic missile tests, a dramatic increase compared to Kim Jong-il's reign, where there were 2 nuclear tests and 3 long-range missile tests. Kim Mo-kyun, Arirang News.
North Korea is at the centre of a mystery disappearance tonight. Kim Jong-un's top general, one of his closest allies, has suddenly vanished. And there's speculation the North Korean leader may have had him executed. But if so, why?
One of Kim Jong-un's top generals, often at his side during North Korea's nuclear tests. But tonight, his whereabouts is a growing mystery. South Korean intelligence agencies reporting he may have been executed.
Kim is running a mafia-style government, and many of the leaders died horrifically, cruelly, under torture. It would not be surprising in the least that this particular general vanished.
The hermit state dictator has mercilessly purged a long list of top aides, among them his uncle, executed for treason, a defence minister killed for falling asleep in a meeting, and Kim's half-brother, at one-time rival, assassinated with a chemical weapon in a crowded airport. Kim Jong-un's inner circle never certain whether they will live or die. Today, President Trump said he'd asked Vladimir Putin to do more to cut off aid to North Korea.
Russia's not helping. We'd like to have Russia's help. Very important.
While at the United Nations, the Secretary of State toughened his stance about negotiating with the rogue regime.
North Korea must earn its way back to the table. The pressure campaign must and will continue until denuclearization is achieved.
Warnings that have so far proved futile. In the United States, Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
In other news, the White House has announced that President Donald Trump spoke with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, on the phone Thursday to discuss North Korea. In a brief statement, the two are said to have discussed working together to resolve the very dangerous situation in North Korea. The Kremlin also confirmed the call, saying the two discussed the situation in several crisis zones, with a focus on solving the nuclear issue on the Korean peninsula. Earlier Thursday, Putin criticized the U.S. during his annual end-of-the-year press conference, saying its actions on North Korea were provocative and counterproductive.
You have to stop at a certain point. You have to stop this from spiraling. You provoked North Korea, so what good came out of it? We think both sides should stop escalating the situation.
The U.S. is the one who must be held accountable. There are several nuclear power states over the world now, but there is no country like the U.S. who is continuing to openly threat and blackmail other countries with its nuclear weapons.
Well, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson responded to this statement, this provocation, reiterating that their nuclear program violates international law. Tillerson said all the options are on the table, including military action, but the priority is to pressure and to continue to sanction North Korea to force them to the diplomatic table.
The international community condemns North Korea's pursuit of a nuclear arsenal, and we will never accept a nuclear North Korea. The DPRK's unlawful acts cannot be ignored, nor can they be explained away. They alone are responsible for these tensions. They alone must take responsibility for these tensions, and they alone can solve these tensions.
Tillerson made it clear, though, that the communication lines are open if North Korea is willing to walk through that door. The UN, by the way, UN Secretary General, very concerned that any kind of miscalculation or miscommunication can lead to an accidental conflict and escalate to a full-scale war.